Morning, hello, I'm back. Molly again for the second day this week. I've been doing lives all of this week and possibly last week about methods of mobilisation that we can do that you guys seem to be lapping up right now. We're talking about actually looking after our bodies so that we can alleviate the aches and pains of everyday life. So, morning, yes girl, here she is, you're coming on, love, love, love. It is Friday today, and basically over the last couple of weeks I've really been here trying to make everybody see how important it is that, especially as we're getting older, we're starting to feel resigned to a life of everyday aches and pains. Sorry, and it really doesn't have to be this way. Most of us also aren't moving very much because we're adults now, and that's kind of what we do. We sit down and do work and that's it. So if you are aching from lack of movement, then definitely be checking out those videos that I made for you last week. Today I kind of want to touch on posture. So I did a video a couple of days ago that was helping people who are working from home make sure that they've got the best desk setup that they could possibly get whilst they're working from home, and just to minimise the risk of injuries that they have or that they're going to get whilst they're working in a bad desking environment. We did a little bit of a chat about posture there. And posture is actually incredibly important, because if your posture isn't good, then nothing else is going to be good anyway. So today I want to talk about posture. I'm going to talk about posture and how it relates to ankle and knee pain and hip pain and bum pain. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. If you've just popped on, hi, hello, I did see a couple of your beautiful faces there, but I've just stepped away from the camera for a moment. So, yes, okay, so here we go. Bad posture means means that you're not standing in the right way, which means that there's definitely something that's going to be overcompensating. And if I take it for something as simple as the ankles, okay, so let's say that I've got a pain in my foot, which is not uncommon. Let's say it is. It's not uncommon because it's also a pain that I've suffered with, and we talked about it yesterday. It's the plantar fasciitis that goes across the foot there at the bottom. And a lot of us are suffering with it. I've spoken with a lot of people. I've helped a lot of people with it. I've also had it myself. So I know that it hurts. And I also know that, especially in the morning, those cramping feelings can get pretty bad. So what tends to happen, say that we've done something to our foot, even if you don't have plantar fasciitis, let's say that, I don't know, you've annoyed it somehow. So then you decide that to walk now, to be able to walk and use this foot, I'm going to set it off slightly to the side because it doesn't hurt me if I do it whilst it's off to the side. And that's how we would go about our day, just to work around the pain. And we know that it hurts, so that's cool. So then what happens is we've now took our foot off balance. It is not being used the way that it's designed to be, and we've put ourselves out of a bad posture. Now it might be helping out the pain that's in the foot short term, but what we've done now is we've put extra pressure over here on the ankle, which makes the calf tight. You can feel it. If you just do it now, if you stand on one side and put it over on one side as if you were imagining that you had a pain, then you can feel it for yourself, that the calf goes, then the knee's got some tendons on it there, and then you've just put it off of where it's supposed to be placed. So now your knee's going to get involved and you're going to start getting knee ache. You see where I'm going with this, because it travels all the way up to the hip, and then you're going to get a sore hip and bum ache. Well, now this hip is off centre. So this hip is going to do some stuff to try and compensate it. Now you know that we're getting a lower back pain, sore hips, sore ankles, sore knees, and it's all come from bad posture or that you were trying to do to help yourself out in the first place, but you've just made one thing 10 times worse because you didn't address the problem, you just skirted around the issue, and now we've got issues. This can even develop, once the hips are off, to your upper body, because we've got muscles and like corsets that go across our upper body and all the way up to the shoulders. So then your shoulders are going to start pulling, which leads to tightness around the front of the body, and that's all come from one painful foot that you were putting off to the side because it hurt, but you didn't know what to do about it and you just needed to work around it. And I completely understand it, because I think we've all been guilty of coming across painfulness or painful areas in our bodies and either just being so fed up with it that you're just going to get on with your day no matter how it happens, or just resigning themselves to a life of pain anyway, and then feeling like, oh right, well I had a little niggle in my foot but I'm getting older now, so yeah, it's probably my ankles are a bit creaky, and then of course my hips are hurting. I mean, I'm 30. 30. You shouldn't be feeling that at 30, you should just be doing some stretches. So I really wanted to hit home the importance of posture today. So if you have been following me for the last couple of weeks, you'll know that I've been drilling in the 5 steps to perfect form, which was an amazing set of tools given to us by a man called Kelly Starrett, amazing physio and personal coach, with a lot of good information, and it's changed how I teach literally every single person that I work with. And every single person that I work with really finds those 5 things really useful. It's your own checklist. So here's what we can do. First off, we've got a pain in our foot that we should probably have a look at. If you feel like it's a muscular thing, then what we can do is we can start to do these little mobilization stretches. Usually that stiffness or that one thing that happened in the foot that made you go off kilter in the first place could have probably been prevented from stretching. But it's okay, we're not going to give ourselves a hard time. We're going to just start mobilising and paying attention to our posture whilst we're doing it. I know that I've gained a lot of interest of people that are like literally fed up with living with painful sore bodies, even though we're still quite young. Here's the annoying thing. Whilst I was doing my own posture training, it's great because your body is going to finally be looked after and you're going to understand how you're going to do that. But the annoying thing is making sure that you do that, because it does take effort to correct. Probably, let's take this, let's say that you've been standing in a bad way for over a year, maybe 6 months. Well, now you've got to do all of that unlearning. So if you've been doing things in a bad posture for a long time, it's going to take a long time to teach your body that that is not how we are going to use it anymore. So practice is boring, but it does make perfect. So here's how we can get perfect posture. We're going to, first of all, do those 5 steps that I was talking about. If you don't know what they are, just send me a little comment. I've got a video on it. I'm happy to post it just so that you know what they are for yourself. They are the things that I go to every time I'm thinking about, well, what's my perfect form or what's my perfect posture here? So if we're standing up, we're going to be thinking about our anchors. We need to press and screw them into the floor. As soon as you do this, you feel so much more stable across your legs. You feel your core giving it a little pull in. We're going to help that out in a second because we're about to squeeze in our bum. That's number 2. We're going to engage our core. That's number 3. We're going to open up that chest and shoulders for number 4. But for number 5, we're always going to check that that rib cage is over the belly button. Those 5 steps gives us perfect form all the time. So if you're ever unsure of good form, run through your 5 steps and that's going to help you sort out your posture as well. It can get a little bit complicated when we get to sitting down, but as long as you've got your 5 things on first, you're going to squat it down and then you can start to sit and you can keep your back nice and straight, chest up. It always goes back to those 5 things. So even if you're sitting down, they are really going to help you out there. The other thing that I wanted to touch upon quickly, because I've gone into a little bit of a chat about the ankles there, is that we can test our mobility in the ankles. The ankles are definitely something that we need to be looking after, because as I've just explained, one little issue in the foot can cause a whole body full of pain. So we do need to look after it, and we do need to make sure that we are mobilising it often enough so that it is strong enough to support our bodies that is going to walk around and move around all day. So the flexibility test. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start by doing those perfect 5 things. And then I want you to think about your centre of gravity, but we're going to basically squat down to the floor. We're just going to bend down like this to the floor. Now, what may have happened for a lot of you is that your heels may not still be on the floor, and that is where we see a loss of range of motion in the ankles, and that's how we can tell that your ankles are quite tight. What generally happens for people that are trying to get into that position is that their heels come off the floor. And that may have happened for you just now, or you may not have even noticed that my heels were still on the floor when I went down. Perfect. And that tells us that we've got some good work to be doing on the ankles. So, and that move also helps out the hips as well, so it's great. So what you can do to get your ankle flexibility and help out your knees and hips at the same time is to, have I got a wall here? Yes, just. I would just stop. I would start to do some nice gentle stretches here just to help out those ankles. So if you were to come up to the wall and put your toe up against the wall, keep your heel on the floor, and then gently press your, try to get your knee to touch the wall, but you're keeping your ankles anchored. You're going to start to feel a nice stretch up the back of the leg in the calves, and then I'm just going to bring it forwards and I'm going to point my toe up to me. That's again great for ankles and it's great for calves, and then we're going to bring it back in and we're going to do it again. And I would do this a few times on each leg, especially if you are having trouble in the feet area, because ankles need to be looked after. But as I was saying, if you get yourself one problem in the foot that you've started to compensate everywhere else, it's not going to be long until you are feeling it everywhere else, because those ankles take a lot of flack. We need to look after them. Nice. I'm going to stick it in. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to do a few more of those. And also the other good one to help you out there is to simply practice that move that we were doing. So even if you end up doing your squat down and your feet come up off the floor, here's what you can do. You can either have a wall in front of you, or you can start to press the floor so that you can bring yourself into heels down onto the floor, then anchor and bum squeeze to come up. That's a good way to get that strength in those ankles and correct that, correct the issues that you've got going on with the imbalance there. The one thing I would be careful of, if you're going to do that move, it's great. It's something that I've practiced a lot, and it was really because I knew that you should really always have your heels on the floor. So as a trainer, it's just something that I wanted to make perfect. But as people, it is something that you should be wanting to be able to achieve, because it's just going to help out your whole posture as a result. So inflexible ankles can lead to a whole world or a whole body of pain, because they do a lot of work. So we do need to look after them. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, the importance of looking after the flexibility, especially in those ankles. And I know that most of the time we don't care. We're literally going from room to room, we've got a chore to do, and we're just going to get there. Even running, people will go for a run not really thinking about their ankles, and I've seen it for myself that their ankles will jar up, or they'll have a moment where just trying to pull their foot in after them. And it's because they know that they didn't warm up the ankles, but possibly you don't know how important those ankles are. So I hope that little chat helped. Today. Do let me know. I'm just going to come over and have a little nosy through who's been here. Good morning, everybody. Stretching does make such a difference. It really does. And so does posture. Being aware of bad posture and being able to change it will make the world a difference to how your body is feeling as well. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a little bit of a chat on that plantar fasciitis. Well, that was a big word. So early in the morning, because that's actually a struggle that's close to my heart and something that took me a while to get over. So I'll be happy to share my top tips there. And next week, because you guys have been very good at coming to see these chats, that I'm going to start doing a live mobilization sequence. So I've been teaching them to you for last week. But next week, because you're all here, we may as well just all get in and do it together so that we can all have amazing days together. I'm going to be here around 9 a.m. every day to go through a live stretch with you. So if there's anything that you want me to cover, please make sure that I do know about it. And has anyone got any questions for me today? Loving that you're all logged on again, seeing the same people from yesterday, which is amazing. Shows me that you're interested, and I hope that you are doing those stretches. You know that yesterday I had a couple of people that actually did do the stretches real time with me, and they said actually on the video that they couldn't believe how much better their back felt and their hips felt, and that they'd been in this, they'd been feeling this for such a long time. So they thought, wow, I'll try anything. Gave it a go. And lo and behold, the 3 magic stretches worked for them. And I hope that they'll be back doing them for the next few days, just so that they can really see that it can be a permanent pain relief if you were to do it every day. Yeah, there's my little morning mantra for you. Good morning, people. Hi. Any questions for me there? We're feeling pretty good. Well, I'm going to take a moment to just thank you all so much for tuning in and paying attention to the information that I'm giving. But I also wanted to say a massive thank you, because there was one of my videos, or a couple of my videos, that you guys have been sharing like mad. I'm pretty sure it was one of them was my desk one, about how to set up a desk from home and some handy stretches that you can do. And also there was another great flexibility mobilization one that I did, and you guys have been sharing it. So I wanted to give you my thanks and gratitude for that. If you do like any of the videos that I'm making and you found them useful, please do share them, because we'll know that there's other people. If you're interested in it, someone else is interested in it as well. And obviously it really helps me out if you share what I'm doing, so that more people can see it. Then I can help more people at the same time. So yeah, I just wanted to say what absolute superstars you've been, and thank you for letting me be here every day and for tuning in to watch me and to get involved. Yeah, have an awesome weekend. Have an amazing day. I thought it was Thursday for a moment. I was like, no, but it's Friday, yes. Have an amazing weekend, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you all next week. Please message me. Don't be afraid to reach out if you want to chat with me. That would be great. Goodbye.